Ladies and gentlemen, there is a force more powerful than words, a force that does not shout but speaks volumes, a force that does not fight but wins battles. That force is silence. We live in a world filled with noise. Noise from people, noise from media, noise from opinions, and noise from our own doubts. But let me tell you something. If you do not learn the power of silence, you will become a victim of the noise around you. Silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. It is the ability to hold your peace when the world is trying to steal it. Silence is one of the most powerful tools for guarding the mind, yet it is often overlooked in a world filled with noise. The mind is the control center of life, determining thoughts, decisions, and ultimately destiny. Whatever dominates the mind will shape a person's future, whether for good or bad. This is why protecting the mind is crucial, and silence plays a significant role in that process. Every day, people are bombarded with words, conversations, and opinions. Some of these words are uplifting, but many are discouraging, filled with doubt, fear, and negativity. When a person allows too many voices to influence their thinking, confusion begins to take root. The mind becomes cluttered with unnecessary information, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. In contrast, silence creates a shield against these distractions. It allows an individual to step away from the noise and filter what is worth listening to and what should be ignored. Silence gives the mind room to process, reflect, and reset. In moments of stillness, clarity emerges. When there is too much talking, too many discussions, and too many external influences, the ability to think clearly is weakened. But in silence, thoughts become ordered, direction is found, and inner peace is strengthened. Many of life's greatest decisions require a quiet mind, free from external pressures and distractions. Another benefit of silence is that it prevents unnecessary conflicts. Words spoken in haste often lead to regret. When people react too quickly to situations, they may say things that hurt others or create unnecessary problems. However, when silence is practiced, there is time to consider responses carefully. Instead of reacting impulsively, a person can think through their words and decide whether speaking is even necessary. Many battles are won not by arguing, but by simply refusing to engage in unproductive discussions. Furthermore, silence helps to block out negativity. There are people who will always have something to say. Some will encourage, while others will criticize. If a person listens to every negative comment, they will soon start doubting themselves. They will begin to question their abilities, their dreams, and their worth. But when silence is mastered, these negative voices lose their power. Ignoring destructive words protects the mind from unnecessary emotional distress. Not every opinion needs to be heard, and not every conversation deserves attention. Some people thrive on spreading gossip, doubt, and confusion. They look for ways to pull others into their negativity. But when an individual chooses silence, they refuse to be a part of that toxic cycle. They keep their mind free from unnecessary burdens and maintain focus on what truly matters. Silence also cultivates wisdom. Those who speak too much often miss the opportunity to learn. When a person is always talking, they are not listening. And when they are not listening, they are not growing. Wise individuals understand the power of observation. They remain silent not because they lack knowledge, but because they are gathering understanding. By listening more and speaking less, they position themselves for greater insight and better decision-making. In moments of silence, the mind becomes stronger. Strength is not always found in loudness. A quiet mind is a disciplined mind. It is not easily swayed by emotions, opinions, or external pressures. It remains steady even in the midst of chaos. This is why some of the most powerful people in history understood the importance of silence. They did not waste their words on unnecessary matters. They knew that guarding their minds required discipline in speech and thought. Mastering silence is not about avoiding communication, but about choosing when and how to engage. It is about knowing that every word spoken carries weight and that not everything requires a response. When silence is used wisely, it protects the mind from unnecessary stress, distractions, and negativity. It creates space for focus, clarity, and wisdom. In a world that constantly demands attention, the ability to remain silent is one of the greatest strengths a person can develop. Purpose is one of the most valuable gifts a person possesses. It is the reason for existence, the driving force behind passion, and the foundation for a meaningful life. However, purpose is also vulnerable. It can be attacked, misunderstood, and even destroyed if not protected. One of the most effective ways to safeguard purpose is through the power of silence. Not everyone will understand a person's vision, and not everyone needs to. Some dreams are too fragile to be exposed too soon. When people speak too early about their plans, they invite unnecessary opposition. Critics will arise, doubters will emerge, and those who lack vision will try to discourage progress. Many great ideas have been killed before they had the chance to grow because they were shared with the wrong people at the wrong time. Silence prevents this from happening. It allows a person to work on their purpose without interference. A clear example of this can be found in the story of Joseph from the Bible. He had a great dream, a vision of leadership and influence, but he made the mistake of sharing it too soon. His own brothers, instead of celebrating him, became envious and plotted against him. His vision was not the problem. His timing was. If he had remained silent, his journey might have been different. This is a lesson for anyone pursuing a goal. Not every plan should be announced. Silence provides a layer of protection that keeps distractions and unnecessary challenges at bay. There is also great wisdom in moving quietly. Those who are loud about their intentions often attract the wrong attention. Some people pretend to support but secretly hope for failure. Others look for ways to take advantage of good ideas or even steal them. When a person shares too much, they open doors for interference. Silence, on the other hand, keeps progress hidden until the right moment. It allows work to be done in peace, without unnecessary outside influence. Silence also protects against unnecessary pressure. The moment a goal is publicly announced, expectations rise. People start watching, judging, and sometimes waiting for failure. This added pressure can create anxiety and self-doubt. But when progress is made quietly, there is freedom to make mistakes, learn, and adjust without fear of judgment. Silence gives room for growth without external expectations dictating the pace. Another reason silence is powerful is that it prevents unnecessary energy loss. Words require energy, and explaining plans repeatedly can be draining. Instead of spending time defending a vision or trying to convince others of its value, that energy can be used to actually build and execute the plan. Some of the most successful people in history did not waste time talking about what they were going to do. They simply did it. Their results spoke louder than any words could. This is a principle that applies to anyone serious about fulfilling their purpose. Less talking, more action. Silence also helps in discerning who truly supports the vision. When a person speaks less, they observe more. They can see who is genuinely interested in their success and who is merely curious. Not everyone around is a helper, some are distractions in disguise. When silence is practiced, it becomes easier to identify the right people to trust. Those who genuinely believe in a person's purpose will support even without constant updates. They will offer help without being asked and encourage without needing explanations. In the process of fulfilling purpose, distractions will always come. Some distractions appear as opportunities, others as unnecessary conflicts. Silence helps in avoiding both. It keeps a person focused, eliminating the need to defend, explain, or justify their path. Many great leaders have understood this principle, choosing to operate in silence until the right moment to reveal their work. Their discipline in speech gave them the advantage of clarity and focus. Purpose requires protection, and silence is one of the strongest shields. It keeps out negativity, prevents interference, reduces pressure, saves energy, and allows for proper discernment. A person who learns to guard their words will find that their purpose remains intact. Safe from unnecessary attacks and distractions, progress happens best in silence, and results always speak louder than words. Silence is one of the most underestimated strategies in dealing with opposition. When confronted with criticism, betrayal, or attacks, the natural response is to defend, explain, or retaliate. However, the greatest victories are often won not by fighting back with words, but by refusing to engage. Silence has the power to confuse those who seek to harm, frustrate, or control. It shifts the balance of power and leaves enemies uncertain about their next move. One of the reasons silence is so powerful is that it removes predictability. Most conflicts thrive on reaction. Enemies expect a response, whether it is anger, argument, or justification. When a person chooses silence instead, they disrupt the expected pattern. This creates confusion because the enemy is left wondering what the silence means. They question whether their attack was effective, whether they were ignored, or whether a greater plan is in motion. This uncertainty can cause them to second-guess themselves, sometimes leading them to retreat or make mistakes. Another advantage of silence is that it denies the enemy access to emotions. Words reveal thoughts, feelings, and strategies. When someone speaks too much, they expose their fears, frustrations, and weaknesses. An enemy who knows what bothers or affects a person can use that information as a weapon. But silence provides no clues. It keeps emotions hidden, making it impossible for others to manipulate or take advantage. When there's no visible reaction, the enemy loses their ability to control the situation. Silence also shifts the burden of anxiety onto the enemy. When someone launches an attack, they often wait for a reaction to measure its success. If there is no response, they begin to wonder if their effort was wasted. They start to analyze, worry, and even doubt their own actions. In many cases, they may feel the need to escalate their behavior to provoke a response, but when none comes, they become mentally exhausted. The uncertainty created by silence can be more powerful than any word spoken in defense. In history, some of the most successful leaders and strategists have used silence as a weapon. They understood that responding too quickly or emotionally could weaken their position. Instead, they remained quiet, observing, planning, and allowing their enemies to reveal their own weaknesses. This approach often led to victory without unnecessary conflict. Silence forces the opposition to question their own strategies, sometimes causing them to overplay their hand or expose their own vulnerabilities. Silence is also a tool of self-discipline. It takes strength to hold back words when provoked. Many people feel the need to explain themselves, correct false accusations, or justify their actions, but wisdom teaches that not every battle requires a response. By choosing silence, a person demonstrates confidence and control. It shows that their peace is not easily disturbed, that they do not need validation from others, and that they refuse to be dragged into unnecessary disputes. The power of silence extends beyond personal enemies to environments of conflict and competition. In business, politics, and leadership, speaking too much can reveal plans and intentions. Many great innovators and visionaries work in silence, allowing their results to speak for them. Competitors who are waiting for clues or insights are left guessing. This strategic silence allows for movement without interference, progress without opposition, and success without unnecessary challenges. One of the greatest strengths of silence is that it allows time for wisdom. When emotions are high, it is easy to say things that will be regretted later. Silence creates space to think, evaluate, and decide the best course of action. It prevents mistakes that come from speaking in anger or frustration. Many conflicts are escalated not because of the initial offense, but because of how people respond. Silence removes that fuel and allows situations to diffuse on their own. Mastering silence is a skill that requires patience and self-control. It is not about weakness or avoidance, but about strategic positioning. When used wisely, silence becomes a form of power, shifting control from the attacker to the one who refuses to engage. Enemies are left in confusion, uncertainty, and frustration, while the one who remains silent moves forward with strength and clarity. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, it is one of the greatest sources of strength. In a world where people feel the need to speak, react, and prove themselves, those who master silence stand out. Strength is not always displayed through loudness or aggression. Sometimes the most powerful individuals are those who know when to remain silent. Silence builds resilience, enhances wisdom, and gives a person control over their emotions and actions. One of the greatest advantages of silence is the way it develops inner strength. When a person learns to remain quiet in difficult situations, they train themselves to be disciplined. Not every situation requires a reaction, and not every argument needs engagement. When someone has the ability to control their tongue, they demonstrate mastery over their own emotions. Emotional control is a sign of true strength because it means that a person is not easily swayed by circumstances or the actions of others. They remain steady, focused, and in control. Silence also creates mental clarity. Too many words can clutter the mind and make it difficult to think clearly. In silence, there is space to process thoughts, evaluate situations, and make sound decisions. When a person is always speaking, They do not give themselves time to reflect. But in moments of quietness, wisdom is born. Some of the greatest thinkers, leaders, and visionaries have understood the value of silence because it allowed them to develop deep insight and understanding. Strength is not just about physical power. It is about mental sharpness. And that comes from the ability to be still and listen. Another reason silence builds strength is that it allows a person to conserve their energy. Speaking too much, engaging in unnecessary conversations, and reacting to every situation can be draining. People who waste their words on things that do not matter often find themselves exhausted. However, when a person chooses silence, they preserve their energy for what truly matters. They are not easily distracted by meaningless discussions or foolish debates. Instead, they focus their strength on important decisions and actions that bring results. Silence also commands respect. A person who speaks too much, especially without wisdom, loses credibility. But when someone listens more than they speak, others begin to value their words. Silence gives weight to speech because when a person finally speaks, people listen. Those who are always talking often end up saying things they do not mean, but those who know when to speak and when to remain silent gain the trust of those around them. Strength is not just in words. It is in the power behind those words, and silence enhances that power. In challenging situations, silence can be a shield. When people criticize, attack, or try to provoke, the strongest response is sometimes no response at all. Engaging in every battle is a sign of weakness, but knowing which battles to fight is a sign of wisdom. Those who do not allow themselves to be easily provoked demonstrate a level of self-restraint that weakens their opponents. When someone expects a reaction but receives none, they are left confused and powerless. Silence disarms negativity and takes control away from those who seek to manipulate or provoke a response. In moments of pain, silence also becomes a source of healing. Instead of speaking out of anger, frustration, or sorrow, choosing silence allows time for emotions to settle. It prevents words that may later be regretted. It provides space for personal reflection, growth, and understanding. Strength is not about suppressing feelings, but about managing them wisely. Silence creates that space, allowing for healing and renewal without unnecessary conflict. True strength is not about proving oneself to the world. It is about knowing when to speak, when to act, and when to remain still. Silence is not weakness. It is a strategy, a discipline, and a source of great power. It builds inner stability, sharpens the mind, preserves energy, and commands respect. Those who master the power of silence walk with confidence, wisdom, and unshakable strength. Life is full of conflicts, challenges, and confrontations, but not every battle is worth fighting. Many people waste their energy engaging in unnecessary disputes, trying to prove themselves or defending their position in situations that do not require a response. True wisdom is found in the ability to discern which battles matter and which ones should be ignored. Strength is not about reacting to every challenge. It is about knowing when to walk away and preserve peace. One of the main reasons not every battle requires a response is that some conflicts are simply distractions. There will always be people who criticize, provoke, or seek attention through arguments. Engaging in such battles only gives them what they want: control over emotions and time. A person who constantly feels the need to defend themselves against every accusation or respond to every negative comment will soon find themselves exhausted. Instead of focusing on their goals, they become entangled in meaningless debates that add no value to their life. Silence in such cases is a form of power. It denies distractions the opportunity to take root and shift focus away from what truly matters. There are also battles that come from misunderstanding. Many conflicts arise from miscommunication, assumptions, or false information. Responding in the heat of the moment often escalates the situation rather than resolving it. Instead of reacting impulsively, taking a step back to evaluate whether a response is necessary can prevent unnecessary damage. Sometimes, allowing time to pass gives clarity and the issue resolves itself without intervention. Silence in moments of misunderstanding can prevent words spoken in anger that may later be regretted. Another important reason not every battle should be fought is that some conflicts are rooted in pride. Many arguments are not about finding truth, but about proving who is right. Engaging in these types of battles serves no purpose other than feeding the ego. A wise person understands that winning an argument is not the same as winning in life. There is no need to prove worth to those who are not willing to understand. Some opinions will never change, no matter how strong the argument. Choosing to walk away from such battles is a sign of maturity and self-control. Some battles are also designed to drain energy. There are individuals who thrive on creating drama and conflict. Their goal is not to solve problems, but to provoke reactions. Engaging with them only fuels their behavior and gives them more power. The best way to handle such situations is through silence and disengagement. A person who refuses to fight meaningless battles keeps their strength for the things that truly matter. Instead of wasting energy on negativity, they invest their time in growth, progress, and meaningful relationships. Wisdom also teaches that the greatest battles are often won in silence. When faced with criticism or opposition, the most powerful response is sometimes no response at all. Letting actions speak louder than words is far more effective than engaging in constant verbal defense. People will always have opinions, but results cannot be argued with. Instead of trying to convince others through words, proving success through consistent effort and discipline speaks volumes. There is also the principle of peace. Constant conflict disrupts inner peace and emotional well-being. A person who is always in battle mode will never experience true rest. Learning to let go of unnecessary battles brings freedom. It allows focus to remain on personal growth and positive relationships. Protecting peace is more valuable than proving a point. Walking away from conflict does not mean weakness. It means valuing peace over unnecessary struggle. In a world where people feel the need to constantly explain, prove, and defend themselves, true power lies in results. Actions always carry more weight than words. Many people spend their time talking about what they will do, making promises, or trying to convince others of their abilities. But those who understand the value of results know that real influence comes from what is accomplished, not what is said. Letting results speak removes the need for validation, silences critics, and establishes undeniable credibility. One of the greatest advantages of letting results speak is that it eliminates unnecessary arguments. Words can be debated, challenged, or dismissed, but results are undeniable. When a person consistently delivers, their work speaks for itself. They do not need to defend their reputation or explain their worth because their success is visible. Those who rely too much on words often find themselves caught in endless debates trying to prove their value, but when results are evident, there is no need for explanations. The proof is in the achievement. Results also build credibility. People trust actions more than promises. A person who repeatedly talks about what they are going to do but never follows through loses credibility. On the other hand, someone who works diligently and delivers consistently gains respect. Trust is not built through speeches or explanations. It is built through evidence. When people see real progress, they naturally begin to listen and take notice. A track record of success speaks louder than any argument or self-promotion. Another powerful aspect of results is that they silence critics. No matter what a person does, there will always be those who doubt, criticize, or oppose them. Engaging in arguments with such individuals is often a waste of time. Instead of trying to convince them through words, proving them wrong through actions is far more effective. Success has a way of silencing negativity. When results are undeniable, even those who once doubted are forced to acknowledge reality. There is no greater response to criticism than undeniable achievement. Letting results speak also prevents unnecessary distractions. Many people waste valuable energy trying to prove themselves to others. They spend time explaining their intentions, defending their abilities, or seeking approval. But true progress comes from focused action, not from trying to gain recognition. When results are the priority, unnecessary conversations fade into the background. There is no need to prove anything to anyone, because success itself becomes the proof. Instead of seeking validation, a person who focuses on results simply moves forward, allowing their work to do the talking. There is also great wisdom in moving quietly. Many people announce their plans too early, exposing their vision to unnecessary opinions, opposition, and negativity. But those who focus on results understand that progress happens in silence. They work diligently behind the scenes, building and creating without the need for public attention. Then, when the results appear, they speak for themselves. This approach eliminates the pressure of external expectations and allows for undisturbed growth. Results also inspire and influence others in a way that words never can. People may forget what is said, but they remember what is done. Actions leave a lasting impact. Those who consistently demonstrate excellence set an example for others to follow. True leadership is not about making speeches. It is about demonstrating what is possible through real achievement. When results are strong, influence happens naturally. People are drawn to success, and those who lead by example gain followers without needing to seek them. Ultimately, true success is not measured by what is said, but by what is accomplished. Letting results speak removes the need for explanation, proves worth without argument, and establishes credibility without self-promotion. In a world full of noise, those who focus on action and achievement stand out. Their work becomes their voice, their success becomes their proof, and their legacy is built not on words, but on undeniable results. Silence is one of the most powerful tools available to those who seek wisdom. In a world where people feel the need to speak, respond, and defend themselves constantly, those who master silence gain an advantage that many overlook. The wise understand that words have power, but restraint has even greater power. Silence is not weakness or avoidance. It is a strategic tool that allows for discernment, control, and influence. Those who know when to remain silent and when to speak demonstrate true wisdom. One of the greatest benefits of silence is that it creates space for deep thinking. Many people react impulsively, speaking without careful thought, only to regret their words later. The wise, however, understand that silence provides time to reflect, analyze, and respond wisely. Instead of rushing to defend or explain, they use silence to consider the situation carefully, ensuring that their words, when spoken, carry weight and purpose. In moments of conflict, silence can prevent unnecessary arguments and de-escalate tension. A well-timed pause is often more powerful than an immediate reply. Silence also protects knowledge. Those who speak too much risk revealing their plans, weaknesses, and strategies to the wrong people. The wise understand that not everyone needs to know everything. Some people listen only to find ways to criticize or undermine. By maintaining silence, one protects their vision and avoids unnecessary interference. Not every thought needs to be shared, and not every truth needs to be spoken at all times. The ability to withhold information until the right moment is a mark of intelligence and maturity. Another reason silence is a tool of the wise is that it enhances listening. Many people listen to respond rather than to understand, but wisdom comes from truly hearing and processing information. Those who remain silent in conversations often gain greater insight because they are not focused on what to say next, but on absorbing what is being said. Listening allows a person to learn, understand different perspectives, and make informed decisions. Silence creates the space needed for observation, and observation leads to deeper wisdom. Silence also cultivates discipline. It takes great self-control to remain silent when provoked, criticized, or challenged. Many people feel the need to react immediately, to defend themselves, or to prove a point. But the wise recognize that not every battle is worth fighting. They choose their words carefully and avoid unnecessary conflict. By refusing to engage in foolish arguments, they maintain their peace and focus on what truly matters. Strength is not in loudness, but in the ability to remain composed even in challenging situations. Furthermore, silence commands respect. Those who speak only when necessary are often listened to more attentively. When someone who rarely speaks finally does, people take notice. Their words carry more significance because they are not wasted. On the other hand, those who talk excessively often lose credibility. The wise understand that their influence is strengthened by their ability to remain silent when needed and to speak with purpose when the time is right. Another aspect of silence is its ability to disarm negativity. When faced with criticism, gossip, or provocation, responding with silence can be more powerful than any argument. Silence denies negative individuals the reaction they seek, weakening their influence. It also prevents unnecessary escalation, allowing situations to resolve without additional conflict. The wise do not waste energy on meaningless disputes. They choose silence as a shield against negativity. Lastly, silence fosters inner peace. Constant talking and reacting can create stress, but silence allows for reflection, renewal, and spiritual growth. It creates a space where one can connect with deeper truths, gain clarity, and make sound decisions. The wise prioritize inner stillness over external noise, knowing that true strength comes not from speaking but from understanding, when silence is the best response. Peace is one of the most valuable treasures a person can possess, yet it is constantly under attack. The pressures of life, the opinions of others, unnecessary conflicts and distractions all work to steal peace. Those who understand its worth know that protecting it must be a top priority. Guarding peace is not about avoiding responsibility or ignoring problems, but about making intentional choices that preserve inner calm, mental clarity, and emotional stability. It requires discipline, wisdom, and the ability to say no to things that disrupt harmony. One of the greatest threats to peace is engaging in unnecessary conflict. Not every battle needs to be fought, and not every disagreement deserves a response. Many people waste energy arguing over matters that do not contribute to their growth or purpose. The wise understand that some conflicts are simply distractions, designed to pull them away from their goals. Choosing silence, walking away, or refusing to engage in pointless debates is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. A person who values peace more than proving a point is one who understands the true meaning of strength. Another key to guarding peace is learning to set boundaries. There will always be people who demand time, energy, and attention, but not every request deserves a yes. Those who give too much of themselves to everyone else often find themselves drained, exhausted, and frustrated. Establishing clear limits on what is allowed into one's space, mind, and emotions is essential for maintaining peace. Saying no to toxic relationships, unhealthy environments, and negative conversations is an act of self-preservation. Protecting peace means being selective about who and what is given access to influence thoughts and emotions. Guarding peace also requires control over thoughts. The mind is constantly processing information, and if left unchecked, it can become filled with worry, doubt, and fear. Dwelling on negativity, past failures, or the opinions of others robs a person of their inner calm. The wise make a conscious effort to focus on what uplifts, strengthens, and aligns with their purpose. Peace is not just about external circumstances, it begins in the mind. Training the mind to reject anxious thoughts and embrace gratitude, faith, and positive thinking is essential to maintaining an unshakable peace. Another major threat to peace is seeking approval from others. Many people live in a constant state of stress because they are trying to please everyone. The need for validation can lead to exhaustion and disappointment. True peace comes when a person understands that their worth is not determined by external opinions. Learning to stand firm in one's beliefs, decisions, and identity eliminates the anxiety that comes from seeking approval. The most peaceful individuals are those who no longer feel the need to explain or defend their choices to those who do not understand them. Silence is also a powerful tool in guarding peace. There is wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Many people lose their peace by engaging in unnecessary discussions, defending themselves against false accusations, or responding to negativity. Not every situation requires a reaction. Choosing silence in moments of provocation protects emotional well-being and prevents energy from being wasted on matters that do not deserve attention. Sometimes, the most powerful statement is the one left unsaid. Guarding peace also means prioritizing rest and renewal. The demands of life can be overwhelming, and without intentional breaks, stress takes over. Taking time to disconnect, reflect, and recharge is necessary for long-term stability. Whether through quiet moments of meditation, time spent in nature, or simply stepping away from distractions, finding ways to restore peace is essential. Peace is not something that happens by chance. It is something that must be cultivated and protected through daily choices. Ultimately, those who understand the value of peace will do whatever it takes to guard it. They will remove themselves from toxic environments, choose their battles wisely, protect their thoughts, and refuse to be controlled by external pressures. Peace is priceless, and those who guard it at all costs will walk through life with confidence, clarity, and strength.